Hi everyone, good morning. Today is Friday, September the 24th, 2021. And today I want to talk about a topic that I am very interested in and have been very interested in for maybe the last year and a half or so. And I've been tracking this closely, and I was reminded about it on not on the Mike and Mario show, though I do want to give a shout out. There is a Mike and Mario show this morning, Friday, a live show. If you join that, I think it's the Rethinking the Dollar channel, or is it Maneko 64 channel? Maybe Maneko 64 posts it tomorrow, and it's the live thing is today. Anyways, I want to give a shout out because you should definitely check it out. I was reminded that I've been wanting to talk about this topic when I heard Mike talk about this, or read out this Congress bill yesterday on his I think his channel is called Rethinking the Dollar. But basically, this article was on Zero Hedge about Congress quietly trying to pass a bill, like sneaked into with everything else, about central banking digital currencies. And this is not the first time that this thing has been put in. This was also they had also tried to insert it in that old STEMI bill back in March 2020. They had tried to put it in back then as well, but that did not happen, and I'm actually glad that it didn't. But in any case, what I'm going to talk about, on this CBDC topic, is something that I have collated from various sources. So I'm thankful that this is not like a dissertation paper where I have to annotate and put my sources with the last name and the year, etc., in every single line, because that's a real pain. So I will try to give a shout out right off the bat to all my sources. I have heard like some bits of what I'm going to say. I've heard on Raoul Paul's channel, Real Vision, where he had a conversation with somebody about like this war on cash and what the real thing is behind this. Some things are what I've heard Danielle DiMartino Booth talk about. Some are things that I've heard Lynette Zang talk about. Some things are from the Mike and Mario show. And from Maneko 64's channel, from Mario. And let's see, there are a few others that I'm forgetting right now, but they'll come up during this conversation. But in any case, I wanted to talk about sort of the most important one, I would say. Doug Casey interviewed somebody, God, I'm blanking on his name, but he's absolutely brilliant, and he talks really fast, which I really appreciate, because even though I speak so slowly, I really like people who speak fast. And this guy who he interviewed, he and this other guy, Matt, I think, they both always interview somebody, and they interviewed a guy from some Central American country. And the name of the conversation was like a prison state or something, and Fed coin, something like that. If you look it up on the Doug Casey's Take channel, that's what it's called. I have forwarded that like 1 or 2 hour lecture to so many people so many times, and said, please just watch from minute 3 to minute 15 of that lengthy thing, because it's just absolutely brilliant. Anyways, so I want to condense all the pros and cons. Oh, and also the Raoul Paul one. There's 2 that he's made. One is an hour and a half long, and the other one is a 2.5 hour long. One is about cash, and the other one is the exponential age. There are pros and cons either which way you look at it, but I want to present as balanced a view as I possibly can about this. So here goes. These are the things that what I found is that not many people are talking about these particular points, but I found them just briefly touched upon. So I really want to get into it. So there are three big things that appear to be positives and pros of CBDCs that are actually huge negatives. And so the first one says, this altruistic aim of wanting to help the people who are unbanked. And yes, that is a very laudable goal to say, be able to bring microcredit and bring aid, so to speak, to people who don't have a bank account and don't have access to credit and don't have access to all those things. However, what that also means is that you're assuming that each of these people have to have a cell phone or some sort of a device, or some sort of a trackability mechanism, right? Whether it is in a pendant with a chip or an app type of chip. Of course, I'm not going down the tinfoil hat rabbit hole here, but although I can well do that, but I won't go there now. So whether it's in the form of like a pendant or whatever, or whether it's in the form of a cell phone kind of a thing, you're still talking about track and trace sort of capability. And I won't go any further on that. But that's sort of where, no, I should go further on that. Because, okay, so this thing about unbanked, all right, you want to help, and I say quote unquote help unbanked individuals, but is that really what's going to happen, or is it more of a matter of imposing convertibility fees and imposing the ability to tax unbanked individuals and sort of an intermediary, whether that's in the form of a bank or whatever is the intermediary institution, or a phone, or the medium, so to speak. Is that yet another layer to kind of for them to take their pound of flesh, so to speak, from these unbanked people in the name of helping unbanked people? Okay, that's one thing. The other one is people have talked about imposing whatever interest rate you want to impose on people. And now a lot of people have said, don't worry about that. That's just if your bank balance is like too high, which in itself should make you concerned, because what is too high? Who decides that? Who are we giving the authority to dictate that? But for someone to say that if you're for the regular person, you don't have to worry about that. For the regular American who doesn't save much or doesn't have much by way of savings, this is not going to impact you. But if your bank account, you're hoarding money and you're not letting it into the general economy for use for businesses or for aid or whatever, then you're going to be taxed this negative interest rate, right? Now, first of all, people who are so someone who is doesn't have much money may say, hey, that's great, you know what, that's right, tax the rich, blah blah blah. All right, that's great, but think about this through. Okay, somebody who is super wealthy, first of all, they don't keep a ton of cash in their bank account anyways. Why don't they keep a ton of cash in their bank account? Because super wealthy people have a network of people who will give them credit at the drop of a hat. There is very easy access to credit if you are already wealthy. So somebody who already is wealthy does not need to keep a bunch of cash in there. They will only keep as much cash as they know will not be subject to these kind of things. And for the rest of it, they'll just, they'll rely on their network of good graces and their, their circle, basically. Who will actually get impacted by this? The middle class. Basically, to result in a system of the feudal lord system, basically, where you have the few, kings at the top, so to speak, who have just who they'll rely on like their treaties and agreements between countries to get their way. And I say countries, but who knows, really, corporations, etc. But and everybody else, and when I say everybody else, sort of the middle class is hollowed out in this process. That's what really happens with these negative interest rates. And you may wonder, wait, what do you mean negative interest rates? How can somebody impose a negative interest rate? Now, I must say that many people who think about central banking digital currency and think, they think that that it is Bitcoin or it's this cryptocurrency. And I must clarify here, if you don't already know, that there's a huge difference. Just think about the name. There's a huge difference between centralized currency and decentralized currency. One is decentralized, fixed supply, not able to like just print to infinity and debase the currency. And the other one is print to infinity, centrally controlled. And let's look at that centrally controlled, centrally governed structure. Commercial banks, treasury, no. Commercial banks, Federal Reserves, ECBs, Bank of Japan, People's Bank of China, Reserve Bank of India, all the banks, right? All the central country banks. And then above that, the banker to the central bank, which is the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements. And this is another one I want to give credit to. What's his name? God. He has a really great channel. Best Evidence is his channel. John Titus, yes. He did an interview with those, I think called Wall Street Silver. I'm not sure. Maybe they call Wall Street Silver. But they're basically a bunch of guys who's sitting around on Zoom, and one of them has like a background of like a silver vault behind him. Those guys. I forget the name of their channel. Maybe Wall Street Silver. I'm not sure. Anyways, he gave this great interview. It was where he also shared this, or maybe they shared this video by this Augustin Carstens or something is his name. This official, or not official actually, he's a GM of the BIS, who spoke about what CBDC really is. It's a programmable. It's a complete visibility it's a complete visibility tool for the central banking system. Now, a lot of people, the reason I didn't go much into that off the bat, because that thing is something that everybody talks about, that privacy, they'll know whatever you're doing and this and that. And I'm like, you know what, they already know everything that you're doing anyways. So I like to beat that horse a little bit less, because a lot of people are doing it. The important thing, the crucial thing here is that negative interest thing and negative interest rate thing. And here is number 3, the biggest one, drumroll please, that I haven't heard anybody talk about, is the ability to impose 100% inheritance tax. Now, if you've come from a poor family, if you're born poor, or not born poor, we're all born poor, right? We're all born with zero. If you've been born with nothing, as we all have, right? You'll say, well, you know what, that's right. We are born with nothing. Why should some people get all of this, extra inheritance bestowed on them just because they come from wealthy parents and all that? And I'm sure the pitch will be, screw those super wealthy people. Who the hell are they anyways to inherit all this, da 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 da. All right, that's fine. But again, like the negative interest rate thing, people who are extremely wealthy are not stupid. They are not going to just write a will and allow the governments to tax their kids to death. Okay, they don't put things in wills. They put things in trusts and foundations and name their children as beneficiaries. And in a sense, it's like, no, I own nothing. My foundation owns everything, and you know what? I have nothing, right? They own nothing. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the foundation has everything. Zuckerberg Foundation is everything. So don't think that having these having a very high inheritance tax is going to really penalize somebody that you're feeling resentful towards. First of all, if you're feeling resentful towards somebody, just think about that. Think that through. Resentment is a very toxic emotion, but it is also a very instructive emotion. If you feel resentment towards someone or some group of people, think about that. Meditate on that. Think about why you have those feelings, because it may be that they have something or they have some skill that you don't. They have said something and they have asserted themselves in a certain way that you don't have the courage to do. So do that for yourself. Build that muscle. Build that muscle. Whether you die a pauper or a peasant or a king or a prince. A pauper, peasant, or prince. Yeah, that sounds poetic. Anyways, whether you die a pauper or a prince or a peasant, you will feel proud of the way you've lived if you listen and consult your resentment and act accordingly to rectify whatever thing that you're suppressing, that you're not giving voice to. So there. So those are the three issues that that are the cons that sound like pros of the CBDC. Inheritance tax, negative interest rate, and help to the unbanked individuals as a means of just taking their pound of flesh. Anyways, so thank you for listening to this, and if you have a comment, please feel free to leave it in the comment box, and like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. But definitely share this one, because the inheritance tax thing, nobody is talking about that, but it's something that everything that I've been listening to, there is stuff about that. There's stuff in the works about that, and just nobody's listening, nobody's paying attention to it, because we're all mired in our own crap. So yeah, please do share that. Okay, take care. Bye.